Money is more than just numbers. It's the key to freedom, choices, and the life that you truly want. But for most people, it feels like a constant struggle. And that's exactly why I created this podcast. Welcome to The Wealth Whisperer, the podcast that helps you take control of your finances and design a life of abundance. To tell you a little bit about who I am and about my background, so I'm Erin Moran. I'm a professional money coach. I'm someone who spent nearly 2 decades helping people navigate their financial journeys. I have a degree in financial planning and I have a Master of Finance degree. And whether it's buying a home, getting out of debt, or feeling finally in control of their money, I've been able to help nearly over 2,000 people now on their financial journey. But my personal journey to financial freedom wasn't a straight line, and it was far from it. I have made plenty of mistakes, which I'm more than happy to share with you, and I will be sharing with you as we go through the podcast over the next few weeks. When I was 16, I started working in banking and finance and thinking I was building a solid foundation for my future. But knowing about finance in theory and then mastering money for yourself are two very different things. By the time I was 23, despite working in the industry, I'd made some very poor financial decisions. I'd surrounded myself with the wrong people in my life and I ended up with nowhere to go. And for 3 months, I ended up living in my car and I was completely lost, overwhelmed, didn't know how I ended up there, and it was just a harsh reality check, especially considering how bruised my ego was when I worked in finance. So I had to take time off work just to figure out how to get myself back together again and how to survive. And that time forced me to ask myself some very hard questions. How did I get there despite working in finance? Why did I need to change so this never happened again? Were two very prominent questions that I was asking myself every day. And I realized that while I had spent years helping other people with money, I'd never truly applied financial mastery to my own life. It's kind of like a mechanic working on their own car at home. You know, they've always got a bomb in the yard that they're going to be fixing up and it just never happens. And I'd never been taught how to create a real financial, secure and abundant life. So I started educating myself, and I started educating myself deeply, not just about budgets and bank accounts and the finance degrees, but also about mindset and habits and the emotional side of money. Because the emotions are what are the most powerful tool that you have to create some financial abundance in your life. And I learned how to build financial resilience, make better choices, and create a future where I never had to feel powerless over money again. And that's really what I want to be sharing with you guys throughout this podcast. And now at 35, with my 2 finance degrees and 2 decades of industry experience, it's so clear to me now. My mission is to help others take control of their finances before they hit rock bottom. And that's exactly what the Wealth Whisperer is all about. And for those wondering about my living situation, I'm on to my second property now. So if you have been thinking about buying a property, if that's one of the reasons why you're listening to this podcast, you absolutely can do it. Ignore all of the white noise that you will be hearing because there's so much of it. Good news doesn't sell, okay? It has to be bad news. So you're going to constantly be seeing all this negative material about, getting into the property market. But just ignore it. You absolutely can do it. I'm on to my second property now. My second property is 10 acres. My first house I built, it was 4 bedrooms, 3 living areas, a library, a study, 2.5 bath. It was immaculate, that house. And I ended up making $300,000 on that within 1 year. And then I moved out to acreage and I now live on 10 acres. So you can do it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you. And I'm so excited to be sharing you some of my secrets and hints and tips and all the things. But most importantly, for those of you that feel like you're never going to get there, I'm so excited to be sharing with you the emotional side of it, because I have been there. I've been sleeping in the back of the car to now onto my second property. Okay. So the expectations I'll set for you on the podcast. So every week I'll give you some practical tips that you can use right away. There's not going to be any fluff. It's just real talk. Okay. And when I say real talk, there's still no shame. I'm not going to be shaming anyone or any particular industries. I'm desperately going to try not to shame particular industries. But there are going to be some harsh conversations that I'll have with you, ladies and gentlemen. Just because sometimes we can lie to ourselves to excuse our own behavior, and I did that for many years and it got me nowhere. Taking accountability for my actions is what got me to where I am now. So helping people no longer feel stuck in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and not knowing where to start. This podcast is going to help. That is a really hard word to say, by the way, podcast. I'm just going to call it the pod. So this pod is going to help you break that cycle and take back control, okay? My goal is to empower you to simplify your finances, eliminate stress, and start building real wealth without any guilt or shame. And without confusion, I'm removing all of the jargon, okay? So if you're ready to transform your relationship with money and start creating the life that you really deserve, then hit that follow, the subscribe button, thingamabob, whatever it is, and join me every week for the Wealth Whisperer. I'll release it on Wednesdays, so it's all W. So that way you can remember it's the Wealth Whisperer on Wednesdays. And if you have any money questions or topics that you want me to cover, you can either comment below, so on the Spotify or the YouTube, or send me an email. So it's erin.moran@stallionfinancialgroup.com.au. You can head over to the website as well, which is stallionfinancialgroup.com.au, and fill out the contact form there. And then I'll do my best to put together some great content for you guys. If you found this valuable, make sure you share it with your friends who need to hear it. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll look forward to chatting with you guys every week. Chat to you soon. Bye.